Fred Coker, you now have a question for Congresswoman Carol Shea Porter.
Congresswoman, AARP's number one priority in New Hampshire is home and community-based care. Right now, New Hampshire spends over 80% of its Medicaid long-term care budget on institutional care service and nearly 20% on the less expensive home and community-based services. I trust both of you are aware that New Hampshire citizens overwhelmingly prefer home and community-based services. Would you support changing federal law and associated funding rules so that the ability to access home and community-based services is equal to the ability to access institutional care?
Absolutely. I'm aware of it, not simply through my work in Congress, but also through my professional work and being in a family that had 3 generations there. They certainly should be able to age in place. And we actually tried to pass a bill to help people so that they would be able to get all of their measurements and their health conditions read by computer through the phone system, so they wouldn't have to go in or have a home health care nurse come out. And we were not able to pass that, I'm sorry to say, but we'll be back with it. Certainly, it makes sense. People should be allowed to stay in their homes, age in place, and receive help. New Hampshire families want to take care of their elderly. My mother and father and our family took care of my grandmother and my great-uncle. One had Alzheimer's, one had a stroke with a lot of medical conditions. There were no services then, really, literally no services. It's getting better, but one of the best ways to control costs and to be more compassionate is to have it at home, and I appreciate that question.
Mr. Ginta.
Well, part of, unfortunately, what Obamacare did was force a lot of mandates and extra costs to every state in the country, including New Hampshire. What needs to happen is allow New Hampshire to make their own decisions. Of course, we all support home care and community-based care, but I'd like to see New Hampshire making those decisions rather than the federal government forcing downshifting costs from the federal government to the state government. There are 17 different states right now that are fighting that government intervention, and New Hampshire has always been known as a state that has done a pretty good job on its own without the government telling it what to do to have home-based care. But I'd like to see people in New Hampshire focus on that.